Hello everybody, so here's a little bit of a recap of what we did today. So first of all, let's get my notebook out and we can see what I had. So as far as vocabulary, we talked about linear functions and exponential functions. So let's see, today's 9:19. So a linear function we said was straight, it has a slope, and it has a y-intercept. It also has an exponent of 1. We talked about exponential functions, and they look like the J shape. They get steeper and steeper because they're growing exponentially, or they could even go down. I'll show you an example of that, a picture of that, okay? Either they're going to be growing bigger and bigger and bigger, or if I continue with my notes, they could even be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We also talked about things that are increasing, decreasing, or constant. So increasing are going up. This graph is going up. It's increasing to -2. Constant, we talked about constant, having a flat slope of 0, and then a decrease where it's going down. So this graph is increasing to -2, it's constant to 2, and then it's decreasing from 2 on, okay? Then we looked at integer graphs. So integer graphs are weird because an integer is just a whole number, positive or negative. So an integer are these numbers here, dot, 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 -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, dot, 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 okay? So an integer graph doesn't have any fractions in it. There's nothing in between. There's no decimals, no fractions, just at 0, 1, 2, 3. Here's an exponential graph, but it's still an integer graph because it has values at 0, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -1. We saw another integer graph. We graphed this graph. There's no fractions or decimals, just graphed at 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And of course, it keeps going on forever and ever and ever. I just didn't do that, okay? Well, we looked at what we had in the book also. And in the book, we looked at our graphs from our paper, and we were asked to say, okay, which ones are increasing functions? Like f and I, this is increasing all the time. I is increasing all the time because it's exponential. Decreasing functions, we looked at L, M, and G for decreasing, going down, decreasing, L, M, decreasing, and what was the other one? G. Oh yeah, where's G? Oh yeah, G is decreasing also, okay? It's going downhill all the time. And then all the rest of these do something. It goes up and then down, increasing, decreasing, or decreasing and increasing, so we put all of those down. Okay, so finally we just talked about the differences and the similarities between linear and exponential, how linear is straight and the exponentials have the J shape. We talked about how they're the same and they're both either always increasing or always decreasing, right? And we looked at the graphs of them. And then finally, for our homework, we were asked to go back and take a look at these graphs. Just a second. And we were asked to, here's our homework, it was out of the skill set 12, it's page 12, 13, page 14, page 15, and we looked at each of these and we said, okay, well, we need to say, like graph B, it is a function, so we'd write is a function. So our homework was, yes, it's a function, and it is decreasing always. Okay, and then we did that for all the rest of the graphs. We described them, whether they're constant, decreasing, it is a function. Increasing, decreasing has a maximum. This one has a maximum. This one's not a function. You can see this one is an exponential and it's decreasing all the time. This one is increasing, and right at 0 it just stops, then increasing again. Decreasing, increasing with a max or a minimum. Increasing constantly. This one's going to be exponential integer, and of course it's increasing constantly. This one's not a function because you can see right there it's not going to function. This one's decreasing, then increasing, then decreasing. So anyway, that was our homework, was to describe all these graphs. So that's all I have for today. The homework was that sheet. Come see me if you have any questions.